All right, Chapter 13, Section 1, answer key. When you grade this, I'll show you the first answer. Jedidiah Smith and other daring fur trappers and explorers were known as mountain men. So the answer is Smith, fur, trappers, explorers, mountain men. If, for example, you missed the first part, and let's say you put Graziano, Joseph Jedidiah Graziano, it makes number 1 wrong. Okay, you have to have all parts of this correct. Now here's an example. We'll do the next one is a good example where in the book it just said Rockies. So for example, I would accept Rockies if that's all you put. You don't have to have Rocky Mountains. But on your worksheet there is 2 spaces, so that's why it's Rocky Mountains. So the answer number 2 is they opened up the West by discovering the best trails through the Rockies. Or that's what this paper says. Technically it's Rocky Mountains. Number 3, these trails were later used by thousands of pioneers. 4, mountain men survived being tough and resourceful. 5, they roamed the Great Plains and the far west to trap animals for their furs. Number 6, Smith learned of the South Pass through the Rockies from Native Americans. Now, for number 6, if you put mountain pass, a mountain pass, that is fine. Did anybody do that? Okay. Mountain pass, South Pass, but you got to have Native Americans. Seven, Jim Beckworth discovered a mountain pass across the Sierra Nevadas. Now, just a reminder to everybody that's grading this, it's just right now you can only miss 7, even though you could have a bunch of these wrong. It's only 1 point per question. 8, trappers met with traders at the annual rendezvous. 9, when the fur trade declined, silk had become fashionable. These men became army scouts, gold prospectors, and wagon train guides. You can also use seekers. Did anybody use the word seekers? Okay, seekers is acceptable as a replacement. 10, land speculators bought, we'll fix that, huge areas to sell to settlers or pioneers, I don't know if anybody put that word down, for large profits, or you could use earnings, anything that deals with the word profits. Now, this is very important. If you have an answer that's acceptable, like for example, money instead of profits, people instead of settlers, that's fine, but still your responsibility to know that on the test, these are the words they're going to use in the word bank. Okay, so even though you get credit on your worksheet, it's very important that you make that correction for the test. 11, early pioneers' success convinced thousands of others to make the dangerous journey west. 12, they claimed land and established settlements in New Mexico, Oregon, and Utah, as well as other western territories. Now, Oregon and Utah can be mixed up. It doesn't matter. Obviously, New Mexico can't because there was 2 spaces, but if it was, as long as I have those 3 states, I'm fine. 13, before 1821, Spain kept Americans out of these lands. 14, When Mexico gained its independence from Spain in 1821, American traders, or you can accept pioneers, were welcomed. You can also use settlers for number 14. 15. William Becknell pioneered a new route, the Santa Fe Trail. 16. Goods were hauled by covered wagons and profits were large or huge. The correct answer is huge, but I don't know if the book said large. Anything that deals with large, huge, great, something that represents a lot of profit. Or you could say made. Profits were made. Again, just because you got credit for it, remember, the wording on the test will be what you see on this worksheet. So it's your responsibility as the owner, not the grader, to make sure that you have the correct terminology. 17. Hundreds of families made the 800-mile journey from Missouri to Santa Fe, New Mexico. The Oregon Trail ran from Independence, Missouri to the Oregon Territory, about 2,000 miles. Early settlers there included missionaries like the Whitmans. American settlement there led to conflict between Britain and the United States. Conflict or friction. At the time, Oregon was owned or occupied jointly by both. Wagon trains took nearly 6 months to get there from Missouri. Children gathered firewood. When there was none available, they searched for dry buffalo dung or doo-doo because they could burn it. Buffalo chips. Between 1841 and 1867, approximately 350,000 pioneers arrived. One large group of pioneers migrated for religious reasons. These were the Mormons, members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. 27. Founded in upstate New York by Joseph Smith, they prospered. 28. They made enemies, though, by practicing polygamy, allowing men more than one wife at a time. Killed by an anti-Mormon mob in Illinois, Smith was replaced by Brigham Young, who moved his people out of the United States. They built a new settlement, or you can also say Salt Lake City. I guess that would fit. But a new settlement by the Great Salt Lake in Utah, then part of Mexico. 31. They built dams and canals to carry water to their farms. Some students used fields, that'll work, or valley. Again, you can get the credit for it, but just make sure you use the word farms for the test. Now what you need to do, very important, that step 1, you add up the wrong answers. For example, I missed 5. So somewhere on my paper, I'm going to, it says 4 because in fact, let me just pause that. See, magic. I missed 5 questions, so I put -5. The second thing you want to do is show me a score over 31. So if I miss 5, it's 26 over 31. You have to do all these steps. And the last one, the most important, and this is what's going to be recorded, is a point value that in a minute I'm going to show you. You need to assign a point value and circle the number. Now here is the chart. So look at what your score over 31 is. Let's say I missed 2. I have 29 over 31. I got 24 points. This assignment is worth 25 points. Not 31, so I have to convert it. So again, total amount you missed over 30, so you figure out how many you got right over 31, and that's how you figure out your points. If anybody needs help doing this, I'll be glad to help you, and just come up and see me right now.